Now, exclusive information available to Joy News indicates that the interdicted Commissioner of Police, Patrick Timbila, is currently battling 5 charges leveled against him in the recruitment scam that shook the police service last year. In February last year, about 200 police recruits went to the police training school with what later appeared to be fake recruitment letters. Now, more than 10 people, including police officers, were arrested in connection with the scandal. COP Patrick Timbila was interdicted for allegedly masterminding the scandal. Joy News' Manasseh Azuri Awene has secured the exclusive details of the year-long police inquiry into Mr. Timbila's involvement and reports that he's currently being cross-examined. Joining me now in studio with a lot more on this is Manasseh Azuri Awene with those details over there. So, Manasseh, thanks for joining us. Obviously, just to jog the memories of a lot of people who might have forgotten about this police recruitment scam, what happened in the first place?
Well, Chenchahine, I think somewhere last year in February, we had reports that some stranded police recruits were complaining that they were given letters to come for training, and when they got there, it appeared no one attended to them. And there were about 200 in number, and a number of people were arrested, including some 2 police officers. But the most dramatic arrest or involvement or allegation was on the 6th of March. I think we were on duty when the then Police Public Affairs Director, DCOP Ampa Benin, had to walk to our studio and told us that he had a story for us. And what was that story? It was that COP Patrick Timbila had been put under house arrest because of his alleged involvement in the recruitment scam. Later, that charge was amended to interdiction because some lawyers raised issues and were told that they went to do some further investigation probe, and told us that they would come out later with what they found. But over a year now, they have not been able to tell us anything except to say that they are still on it, and that is what we decided to go behind the scenes to find out if we could get more information related to this particular scandal.
And Manasseh, you have been digging, you have been investigating this issue, and you've come up with this information. 5 charges leveled against him. What are these 5 charges?
Well, I can say the charges were initially 8, but Timbila's lawyers, I'm told, actually raised some concerns, or they filed a case of no to squash some of them, but they didn't get all. 3 of the charges were dismissed, and the remaining 5 are what Timbila is fighting against. The charges include 1 that is alleged to have connived with some people, some individuals who were arrested to come out with this particular scam, that they were trying to do recruitment and made people believe that there was recruitment when in actual sense they knew there was no recruitment. That's the first charge he's facing. There's also another charge that Patrick Timbila is alleged to have taken an amount of 10,000 cedis from one Aisha. And Chenchehni, you remember there's this woman we are told was a shea butter dealer who was also doing some recruitment. And we are told this woman paid an amount of 10,000 Ghana cedis into COP Timbila's Ghana Commercial Bank account. There is also another allegation or charge that he's taken 11,400 Ghana cedis from one Brown. And this Brown was also fingered in, I'm told Paul Brown also fingered in this recruitment scam. And this amount was supposed to have been paid into Patrick Timbila's account, also at the Ghana Commercial Bank. He's also, another charge is also that he met with 14 agents and victims of the police recruitment scam at the police officers' mess, and there he assured them that despite the controversy, they would still be enlisted into the service at the appropriate time. All of these are charges which I'm told he's denied. And there is also a charge, that is the 5th one he's also fighting, is that COP Timbila is alleged to have taken an amount of 80,000 Ghana cedis near his Rage or at his Rage residence. And this money was supposed to have been given to him by one, 2 people were there when the money was given. I'm told one Alifa Adams and some other man called Salinko. So all of these charges, I'm told, are what he is facing the committee to actually fight for his freedom and also to get his name cleared. And I must also add that when this case, this scandal started, 2 separate committees have worked on it. There was the Special Investigative Task Force that sat in March. They had a very brief period of sitting, and I'm told this was the committee that was headed by COP Brighto Drew, and they established a prima facie case against him. And after that, another committee, that is the Service Inquiry Committee, is actually still sitting. And this, I'm told, is headed by COP James Opongbuenu. And they sit at the police headquarters. And my sources tell me that they sit at the senior officers' canteen. That's where they have their sitting. But on a number of occasions, about 3 or 4 times, they actually had a sitting at COP Opongbuenu's office. And so this is what has happened since the name of COP Timbila was mentioned.
Pretty revealing details there. But for the many Ghanaians on the outside, those watching us, I'm sure the question is, why has it taken such a long period of time? I mean, up until you went digging and you brought us this information, many even assumed this issue was done and dusted. It was just thrown somewhere.
No, I can tell you that the police administration is taking this very seriously. And my sources say Timbila is not being shielded as some thought at the beginning. And they actually telling me that they are doing a very serious work and rigorous work. I'm also told that during the legal break, I'm told Timbila is represented by some lawyers. So during the legal break, they sought for adjournment so they could also enjoy the legal break. And sometimes they go for the sitting, and for 1 or 2 reasons there's adjournment, or other times the committee is not able to sit because of some members of the committee having to travel or doing other duties. And I can tell you that they've sat about 24 times, at least 24 times. They've had at least 24 sittings. The case started on the 8th, I mean this particular committee, 8th of May, and the prosecution started their case. They called 7 witnesses, I'm told, to testify for the prosecution, that's the police service. Yeah. But I'm told none of them interdicted or testified against Timbila in any of these allegations. And after that, Timbila was asked to open his case. That's where the lawyers filed a submission of no case. Okay. And 3 were granted and 5 were upheld. So Timbila was also asked to open his defense, which he did. And I'm told, I think on the 24th or so, he actually finished his evidence in chief. And so as we speak, he started the they've started cross-examining him. The last time I'm aware they had the meeting was, I think, last Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is to happen next? Seeing that this is what we have, do we know, for instance, when probably this issue is going to be taken to court, or what is to happen next, really?
Chenchinhim, I'm told what happened last year was that a docket was sent to the Attorney General.
Okay.
And so what the police are doing, or the police service, the internal inquiry, is not in any way impeding the work of the AG. That's what I'm told. Okay. That the AG can go ahead and deal with the criminal aspect of the case. But with this...
But that is not being done as we speak. Do we know whether it's being done?
No. For over a year now, the AG, I'm told, got a docket. But some sources that are very familiar with this case are telling me that from what is happening, we're told the evidence was so overwhelming and that they found about 1 million Ghana cedis that had been paid into Patrick Timbila's account. It looks like not all of those stories were true. Even if you look at the charges, they are not in these charges. So what I'm getting, or the sources are telling me, that it's becoming very difficult to find him criminally culpable. But there may have been some indiscretion on his part. So my sources are telling me that may be the reason the AG's department is not able to, for now, put some criminal charges against him. But what is happening is an internal inquiry. And so if he's found guilty, I'm told the biggest punishment is that he would be dismissed. And what that means is that he's going to lose his entitlement. And it is important to state that COP Timbila is due for retirement in October this year. So when he goes on retirement as a commissioner, I'm told he's supposed to retire on his salary and all the benefits.
Okay.
But because of this, if he's found guilty and the highest or harshest form of punishment is
dismissal
applied, he'll be dismissed and he will lose all of that.
But should, I'm just looking at the situation where the investigations are not done, this cross-examination and this whole process is not exhausted by October, where he is to proceed on leave. What happens then? Does he go ahead and enjoy his benefits, or is put on hold while the entire process is exhausted?
I think it will be put on hold. It is also important to state that all his accounts have been frozen, including his salaries, from last year up to this time. So until this case is over, it does not seem he would have any of those benefits.
Okay.
So it is going to remain as it is until the case is over. But from what I'm hearing, they are almost at the tail end of it.
Okay.
After his cross-examination, the committee, I'm told, may want to call maybe further witnesses. If they don't do that, then they will just have to wind up and perhaps come out with their report, because they are almost at the tail end of what is happening.
Right. Manasseh, many thanks for that update. That was my colleague Manasseh Azuria when bringing us the very latest on that police recruitment scam. There, it tells us that 5 charges have been prepared against COP Patrick Timbila. He's currently in the process of being cross-examined by the prosecutors there. We'll be bringing you a lot more on this subsequently. Do stay with us here on Joy News. You are taking a break here on News Desk. We'll return shortly with some more stories. Don't go away.